What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Street Fighter Duel video. Guys, we're going to get a little technical this time around because the spreadsheet that I brought out for all the fighter assist moves had a lot of terminology that a lot of people were confused about, including myself. I actually messed up on a few of them, so believe it or not, your boy doesn't know everything. So thank you to the community for correcting some. I've made those corrections on the actual spreadsheet. Now we're going to talk about the actual terminology and how you read it and what you perceive from it versus what it actually is, okay? So I'm going to give you examples. I'm going to show you guys some showcases on how they trigger, etc., right? And the reason why I want to bring this up is because it's extremely important to understand how things work, because it'll maximize, min-max your damage and also make you understand how the units work, especially for assist units, right? So I want to talk about a few things. So we're going to go ahead and actually look at some assist moves, okay? So first off, let's take a look at some terminology that's pretty straightforward, all right? So this one, for example, here, when assisted fighter takes fatal damage means when you die. Essentially, you lose all your health, you gain Infernal King until death, and it prevents healing. So this one essentially means, so fatal damage, I want to point out real quick, is when you die. Okay, you come back to life with 30% max HP, you can't be healed, but you get 15% damage. Now, I want to point out the damage versus attack. Okay, damage is a raw true stat, which is better than attack. Attack is based off of your attack right here, and it's usually off the base. It does not include all of the extra equipment you have. When it says attack percentage, it's usually based off of your actual base attack. Okay, so keep that in mind versus damage, which is a whole different ball game in general. So damage is what you want to look for. That is actually the better multiplier between attack and damage. All right, let's move on to something else here. Let's look at another terminology. So this one here is when fighter is in assist position, when the assist fighter deals damage, so again, any form of damage, with a super combo, okay? So this is super combo. So this is specifically the unit that does this, or that is the assist unit that does this. Super combo means your ultimate, essentially, the starting ultimate special that you have. So somebody has to perform that in order for this to pop off, okay? So just real quick. Also, true damage is a damage that can't be avoided by defense or damage resistance or anything. It's just straight damage. There's no resistance to it. There's nothing that can stop the damage from coming through. So keep that in mind, okay? So this one here, super combo, is your actual ultimate. So specifically this combo here, your super, okay? That's what that terminology means. So I want to just make sure you guys understand that it's very, very different than just combo, which is these right over here, okay? These are your, sorry, these two here. These are your actual combos. Now for Ken, it's a little different. These are considered triggers. And we'll talk about triggers shortly. And that's actually something that you guys pointed out that I'm mistaken, and I want to thank you guys for that. So real quick, let's go to Cammy, and let's talk about hers. So these are just examples, guys, okay? So when the assisted fighter deals thunder damage, now this is specifically thunder. Now the way to know who deals thunder damage is look for a person's kit, usually in the thunder faction, obviously in this case, and then whoever does thunder damage, this is what sets this off, okay? So keep that in mind. There are certain procs that will only happen if you do specific elemental damages. This is an example of one of them, all right? Just real quick, I just want to point that one out as well. All right, going to Jury, I don't know if she has anything different. Okay, here we go. When the fighter is in assist position, absorb attack equal to 0.5% of the fighter's base attack from the target when assisted fighter triggers a crit. So this essentially means every time you do a crit attack, so you'll see the big yellow numbers that pop up on the damage meter, that's what this trigger is. So whenever you see that, this will take into effect, okay? So when you see triggers a crit, that means the crit rate will come into effect, and whenever you do a crit, this assist will come into play. Again, this is all terminology, guys, that you guys need to know to maximize your output, all right? Let's talk about this one here real quick. Okay, here we go. When the assisted fighter is from the Wind, Thunder, Legendary faction, this means when you're in one of those three factions, you get a specific style, or if you're in the opposite factions, Flame, Master, or Infernal, you get this specific style, okay? Now, this one's unique because the mirror image actually does basic attacks, right? But when you do an active skill being a combo or a super rolled up into one, okay? Either or will work. Active skill, the mirror image follows up with the skill attack, right? So this is the skill attack there, and this is the skill attack there. So just real quick to know, like the actual skills is based off of right here, any active skill, okay? So if you do this, this, or this, these are active skills. Just a heads up on that, okay? And if I'm correct, if I'm wrong on that, guys, let me know. But I've noticed that every time this is considered an active skill for me because you're activating a skill that's in your kit. So I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. Okay, moving on to this example. Let's see if she has anything that's unique in her. I believe she does. So let me go to her fighting spirit. Sorry, guys, real quick. Equipment, fighting spirit. So with Rose, when the assisted fighter unleashes a skill, so again, a skill is a combo or a special, you gain one of these buffs, all right? So that's, again, the same thing whenever you unleash a skill, trigger a skill, whatever the case may be. Trigger a skill is different, actually. The word trigger, we're going to talk about shortly. It is a little more important, okay? Let's talk about this one here. So this one here is unique because it does two different things. This is when a sister fighter deals flame damage. So this is if you deal flame damage, you get attack up at a percentage. It stacks up. And remember, stacks up, guys, means it goes up multiplied by X amount. So this one will stack up 8% 4 times. All right. And it's only for 12 seconds. Now, there's also a thing called intervals. We'll talk about that shortly as well. You see it down here, which means it can only happen every 3 seconds. Usually can't keep stacking. So the word interval means it can only occur, the buff can only occur every 3 seconds or X amount of seconds based on what's in here. All right, and this one here is when you take flame damage, you gain defense up for 12 seconds, stacks up to 4 times. So this one's a little more unique in that regard. Let's look at reuse. Does he have anything here? Okay, so this one here is if the assisted fighter's HP is below 50%, they receive 20% of the assisted fighter's attack. So 20% of his total base attack, okay? That's only if you drop, well, between 50%, okay? So if you go lower than 50%, you get his attack, all right? Keep that in mind. And it's different than damage. Again, we talked about that already. Damage would have been way better, but, I mean, attack's there. All right, let's talk about Dulcims. So here, when the assisted fighter performs a super combo, leaves a fire carpet on the floor, has a chance to do burn. So this one here is specifically super combo. So we talked about super combos. That is going to be this up here. Okay, I'm still looking for the word trigger. So give me a sec here. We're going to see if we can find the word trigger somewhere. Okay, so Sakura is here. This one I think is unique as well. Oh yeah, this one is unique. So this one is anytime the assisted fighter takes a specific amount of damage that exceeds 8% of their max HP, they immunize this damage, which means they avoid all the damage and restore 50% of the assisted fighter's attack, so your attack, and this only happens every 12 seconds. So this one's also unique in the fact that it's essentially almost like a buff, but it's also a heal at the same time. All right, so that's health based. This one here also is an attack. So this one is beginning of the battle. This only happens once. So when you see when battle begins and you don't see any further triggers, this only happens one time, hits enemies 7 times, and then increases your speed for 8 seconds. Okay, so this is only a one-time use. So when you see that, keep that in mind. Unless it says persist through battle or anything like that, this is a one-time shot, and that's all you get. All right, Elena here. When the fighter is in assist position performing a super combo or combo, so again, when you say super combo or combo, that's going to mean this or these, she instantly gives you the healing, okay? This is fighter's heal for 8 seconds of Elena's max HP, all right? And keep that in mind. Sometimes you're healed by, or you gain attack or healing by the assisted fighter or the actual unit that you're using. So keep that's very important to note, okay? All right, going to Chun-Li. This one here is pretty straightforward. When the fighter is in assist position, assist fighters receive 15% of Chun-Li's crit. So I believe it's just a unit, and it's not 15. I don't know if it's 15% flat, like I mentioned. It might just be 15% of her base amount by 15%. So if she has like 30, you get 15% of the 30, right? So I don't know. I have to test that, but again, I've noticed crit go a lot better when she's there. So it might be just a flat 15. All right, so this one's unique as well too. It takes effect when the fighter is in a assist position. As long as the assisted fighter survives, which means the person that's on your team that he's linked to survives, all enemies take 12% more flame and burn damage. So this one is throughout the whole fight. There's no trigger required. As long as you stay alive, so someone like Bison, who will most likely stay alive, will take best advantage of this one, okay? All right, let's go to Decapre here. Oh, this one's interesting too. When the fighter is in assist position, jumps into the fray every 20 seconds. So this one's actually timed. Okay, after the battle begins, to do Psycho Sting to the lowest percentage, dealing equal to 48%. Now, this one also has another caveat. If the enemy is below 40%, it will perform an execute, and you can see what execute does. I explained it in the video already, but again, I want to point out what this does. Okay, let's find the one that says trigger. Guile I haven't done on this account yet, but I know for a fact that he does Saber, and he accumulates it, so nothing really to talk about there. This one is also something I want to talk about real quick, because I have to test it. So this one here is actually a chance to dispel a buff. So you can do this with the assister fighter when they deal a skill damage, so skill damage being one of your combos. There's an 8% chance to dispel a buff, and then when that happens, the enemy takes thunder damage, and then you restore, where is that? Yeah, they do thunder damage to all the enemies, and it happens every 10 seconds. So keep that in mind, and it's all enemies take damage, not just the unit you're attacking. Okay, so this one here is something that's also different. This here, I believe, he has a Let's go. Actually, let me go back to the gallery for a sec. This will actually be better if I test it this way for you guys. The gallery Zangief also has a really good one. I think it's defense and then resist as well. So let's go fighting spirit. Here we go. So this one is when the fighter is in assist position, the assisted fighter, so only the assisted fighter, receives 25% of Zangief's defense upon entering the battle and takes 10% less flame, thunder, and soul damage. As you can see here, there's no time limit, so this list persists throughout the entire battle, but just for the assisted fighter, okay? Unlike Honda, let's go back to Honda, his is also good. This one actually says, when the fighter is in assist position, after the battle begins, 8% of damage dealt to all allied fighters is transferred to your Honda. So this is 8% flat damage reduction straight for all your allies. So really, really good one. So keep that in mind. When you see things like that, that's important, okay? Blanca also has one here that has a little bit of a different terminology. So this one is when the assisted fighter is attacked. So when you're hit, they have a 20% chance to counterattack, dealing thunder damage, okay? So that's another really good one, and that happens every 3 seconds, so there's intervals there. But let's go into one that says trigger. Let me go find one that says a trigger. Now this is an important one because this one I kind of messed up on when I was talking to you guys about it, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with the word trigger. Okay, so here you go. When a fighter is in assist position, when the assist fighter activates a trigger skill. So a trigger skill, guys, specifically is like, for example, Bison's AoE when he blows up, or when he loses all of his health, he does AoE, or MH Ken's combos. They're all triggered by other combos. So they're not necessarily combos or specials, but they're passive skills that will happen if you trigger a certain condition, if you meet a certain condition, right? So those are very important to note. So for example, Cammy's, right? Cammy, who has it, I should have actually used her because she's got an incredible one. Cammy actually ends up doing armor break right from the beginning of battle, or when the assisted fighter performs a trigger skill. Now this is why she's so good with Ken or Bison, because they constantly are doing the AoE and they constantly revive with the Infernal King, or Ken is constantly doing his combo, right? And with that being said, the armor break is always being triggered. So this is a very important one to note, guys. But those are, I believe, most of what you need to know. If you take a look at the spreadsheet that I put out on the last video, that should help you see other terminology. And if you have any questions, let me know about it. I've done my best to highlight specific passives and buffs in that spreadsheet, but if there's something that I'm missing, please guys continue to provide me that feedback, because it's only going to get better from there, right? All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was informative to you. If you have any comments, if I missed something, and chances are I may have, because I don't do editing. I just go in and drop my knowledge, and you guys as a community, we work as a community together to make this a better video, right? So drop down any comments you have if I miss anything, and we'll cover that as well. Or if you have any questions about something that I covered, or a comment, let me know in the comment section. All right, guys, Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to you soon. Take care. Right, boys, just a little bit of gameplay here for you. I know I promised you guys that, so I want to show you guys how some of these things work. So we're going to talk about 2 different units right now. We're going to talk about Cammy's triggering skill. I want to show you how that activates, okay? I'm going to put her on Ken, but if you guys recall, I already covered this. She's got no gear or anything on there. She literally is just going to trigger armor break every time Ken has a triggered skill. I'm going to show you how that works and why he's the best unit for this. Bison's a close second. And then we're also going to do the Sea Viper activation as well, which I'll show you here. It takes effect when the fighter is in assist position. When the assisted fighter performs a super combo or combo, Viper jumps into the fray and performs seismic. Now there's no limitation here. As long as the person is doing a super combo or combo, we're going to put her on F Blanca, and we're going to see how the damage looks. Okay, so I just want to show you guys this real quick so you guys understand how this is supposed to work out. So there's the damage right there. Let's go into it. Again, you guys have characters, you guys can play around with it and figure out who works best, but these 2 are some of the best units in the game for assist, and I just want to point out how they work out. Okay, so here we go. Let's go into this. I'm going to just quickly show you guys the battle. I'm going to go ×1 so you guys can see kind of, but you'll see here, Sea Viper will jump in. She'll perform her thing, and now watch Cammy. There's Cammy there. There's Cammy there. And then there's Cammy. I believe that's it for Cammy. There's a Cammy again, actually. There you go. And then there's another Sea Viper. See, there's a combo by Blanca. There's a combo by Blanca there and alt there. So Cammy comes twice, and because Ken performs 2 additional combos, Cammy's gonna show up 3 times, right? Because he does 3 combos in between. Actually, no, 2 combos in between, sorry. And you can see here it's stacking, 9 times armor break, right? So it is stacking quite a bit. So this is why it's so important to understand the word trigger and understand there's units that don't have intervals, and those are the ones you want to use. So really, this is all I want to show you. I'll speed it up here a little bit so you guys can kind of see the way it works and how this is going to convert to damage. Now, there's a little bit of RNG involved here because the boss does do accuracy down, which is a B to deal with. You guys know what the word B is, obviously. Okay, so this is going to be a bad one because I usually don't lose those units that quickly. So now we're going to have to, yeah, this is going to be a different, this is going to be a bad number. But as you guys can tell, the total, like in the first one, was 1.9 million. So, or 1.9 billion, sorry. Yeah, 1.6. It's not, that's bad RNG there. But essentially that's how it works. So I just want to show you guys that real quick. I hope that explains a little further through the gameplay. I know some of you are visual versus audible, so I just want to show you that anyways. All right, guys, it's Payne. Enjoy the rest of the video. We'll talk to you soon.